yours, will you?
Sure. Is this about the Granger and Halpern murders?
Yeah, and the attempt on Blair. I think what I'm doing here links it all together.
John, this is still an open police case, and you are not a cop anymore.
I know Fish, and I'd run it by Bo, but I think he's got his hands full with Matthew.
Look, I know that I've done things for you in the past that haven't exactly been by the book, but I just started back, and I really need this job.
2 people are dead already, Fish. Blair nearly became the 3rd.
All right, so where do we start?
We start with Manning.
If it isn't your ex-husband, did you know he would be here?
I had no idea. Todd, enjoying an evening out?
Yeah. Got a lot of time on my hands since you decided to help Blair steal my kids. She's very good at her job until she stabs her client in the back. I'd watch out if I were you.
Oh, Ray's not my client anymore either. He's my date.
Run away. So, I'm here for one of 2 reasons. Either you want me to help you get over the guy, or you just want to make him jealous.
So you like Manning for these killings?
But I'm not ready to rule him out either.
Well, I thought he had alibis.
All right, well, for argument's sake, let's go over that. 2 of his alibis stink, and he doesn't have one for Blair. He was actually in the house when she was stabbed. It's not like he's not capable of murder.
You don't take hints too well, do you? I said no deal.
You didn't even negotiate.
I'm not interested. Now go stalk somebody else. Or this little incident will be etched in my memory so indelibly that if I were to be questioned by the authorities, I'd have no problem remembering every last detail.
It's your loss.
And Manning had reasons for wanting all 3 victims dead.
Well, Lee Halpern, because her testimony could have put him away. Granger for fighting with him.
And for shacking up with Marty.
Yeah, but why his ex-wife?
Blair told him he would never get custody of the kids. They had a big fight about it about an hour before she was stabbed. When Dorian found Blair, she looked up. Manning was standing right there.
Well, what does Manning have to do with the letters that the killer left with the victims?
Maybe he's trying to send us a message.
Well, that sounds more like a serial killer.
Yeah, it does.
All right, well, what are you trying to say? That Todd Manning has turned into a serial killer?
I asked you out tonight because I enjoy your company, Ray.
I know. And you enjoy it so much more with Mr. Manning here to watch you enjoy it.
I had no reason to believe that he would be here tonight.
It's perfectly all right. In fact, why don't we give him something to look at?
Good evening. What brings you 2 here tonight?
I told you that Taya and I were meeting here.
I assumed you meant the palace. It's a much more elegant place for a date of any consequence.
And to what do we owe this dramatically unexpected pleasure?
Well, thank you. I hope you just don't think it's because of you, because my niece happens to own this place, and I promised her that I would keep an eye on things while she was recuperating. Good thing I did, because her ex-husband is here. And I don't see the manager anywhere in sight.
Christian had to step out for a second, but he left Phil, the bartender, in charge.
Maybe you should check to see if Phil is doing a good job.
I think I'll do that. In a moment.
Actually, this table is for 2, Mrs. Buchanan.
It's Dr. Lord Buchanan.
I stand corrected. Now, Taya, where were we?
Just so I'm clear, help me understand this. Who's trying to make who jealous who?
Jack, what's going on, buddy?
John McBain just moved in. Aunt Dorian gave him the keys and everything.
Did he say anything to you?
Everything you said he would. He wants to be our dad.
There's no way I'm ever letting that happen, buddy.
You're so full of crap.
Of course, Manning doesn't fit the profile of a serial killer.
But
I suppose he could have snapped when his little plan to run off with Marty failed.
wait, but didn't he try to kill himself?
Who knows? Either way, it didn't work. I mean, maybe he's lashing out at anybody who's a threat to him or Marty. It might explain the letters that he left on the victim.
Okay, but what's he trying to say with those letters?
Well, now that you've asked, the letters spell out K-A-D. Now, that might stand for Kappa Alpha Delta. It's Manning's old fraternity. It's the place where he and his fraternity brothers raped Marty Saybrook. What? What's that face?
KAD is my friend.
Accusing me of using you to make Todd jealous, when you're doing the same thing to me to make Dorian jealous. In Landview, by the way, that's called poking the cobra.
Dr. Buchanan and I are playing a game. We're just on to the next round.
I may not be your attorney anymore, but I'll give you this advice for free. Dr. Dorian, Lord Buchanan, plays for keeps, and she takes no prisoners.
All I did was take your hand.
You may as well have fired into her demilitarized zone. If I were you, I'd be working major damage control right now.
Duly noted. You are as smart as you are good looking.
Uncouth cretin.
Oh, talking about me?
I'm sorry, have we met?
Oh, no, I've never seen you before. But if you're thinking about putting a hit on the uncouth creep, I'm not your guy.
I don't want you to kill anyone. I want you to kiss me.
Now I'm your guy.
Yeah, I had it all worked out, Jack. I'm sorry. But I just didn't know your mom was gonna marry him.
So come up with something else.
I'm trying.
Try harder. I don't want John to be my dad.
He won't be. I am, you know that.
And what if Sam starts calling him dad?
Listen to me. I'm never, ever letting that happen.
Prove it. Bring us home with you, Dad. Get help or something.
You know what, Jack? That's a pretty good idea.
Thought someone said the KED chapter of the university had been disbanded after what happened to Marty.
Yeah, it was for a really long time. And then when I was in school, LU granted them a probationary charter to start up again. You know, we couldn't really have any parties. We had to do all these community outreach events. I guess there goes all our hard work.
Hey, Fish. 2 people are dead and Blair's still in the hospital.
I know, I just meant...
Yeah, I know what you meant, all right? But you're gonna have to take a long look at these guys. You know, if the killer is fixated on them like we're talking about, the department's gonna need their cooperation. You might be able to make that happen.
Okay, well, why not just go to Manning directly?
I know they tried to charge him with Granger's murder, and it didn't stick. You know, maybe it's better we just keep an eye on him. See if he's the guy.
If...
Can't assume Manning's the killer until we've ruled everyone else out.
Okay, well then, who else could it be? Dr. Saybrook? She has some of the same motives as Manning, or she could be crazy, or setting Manning up.
It's not Marty.
Okay, well, we did bring her in for questioning. She was found with Granger's body.
If she'd killed Granger, don't you think she would have done a better job of covering it up?
Yeah, but she also has a connection to KAD, a bad one.
So do other people.
Who are they?
2 other guys that raped Marty Saybrook. It's Powell Lord, Zach Rosen. I checked Rosen out. He did his time. Now he's back on the street.